Hey guys, it's me, Talia Arisa Gibson. You can call me Tag for short, and welcome to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Today, y'all, I'm just doing a quick review of the documentary on Netflix called Take Care of Maya. Y'all, so shout out to official Jamia and shout out to Miss Louisiana Housewife and Maddie. Maddie was the one who brought it up when I was watching one of their videos recently. Y'all, this documentary, first of all, it's saddening. It makes me angry to know that the people that are supposed to help you completely will just create this whole story and just destroy a whole family's life and multiple families' lives and not even bat an eye about it. And then the judicial system to take a side with doctors who are obviously corrupt in practice. It's crazy. So just a little rundown, and I'm not going to give it all away because I'm just telling y'all to go watch it. So I was watching official Jamie and she mentioned it. Then the following day I was watching Miss Louisiana Housewife with Maddie and they were talking about a little bit about it as well. And so just a little rundown of Take Care of Maya. So it's a documentary on Netflix. It's about an hour and 40 something minutes long. Definitely worth the watch. It's intriguing. You will feel a roller coaster of emotions. So basically there's a family in Florida, a husband and wife. The wife was an immigrant pretty much from Poland, came to the US at the age of 16. They met and they struggled to have a child at first, but they finally were pregnant with Maya. And then eventually, without even really trying, they had their son. Now, everything was going pretty well, like living a good life. She was in school, like piano lessons and all these different things, just kind of the light of their family. And then she started getting sick around the age of 10. And this is also what makes me angry about all of this, is because you guys just completely like dismiss that she was fine for 10 years. The doctors, y'all just dismiss that. So anyway, she starts to get sick and they can't figure out what it is. Having severe headaches, severe stomach pains, and then also just pain throughout her body to the point where her feet were turning inward and all of that. She could barely raise her arms and different things like that. She was just in excruciating pain. They kept taking her to doctors and the doctors didn't know what was going on. They couldn't figure it out, couldn't diagnose it. Meanwhile, the mom is saying, my daughter is in extreme pain. Like, look at her, like she can't function. So they're running tests on her and you could see the mom documented all the visits. And then also some background, like the mom was also a nurse. And so she had kind of proved people wrong when she was a teenager, because she had teachers that would say that she wasn't ever going to be able to do anything because she couldn't speak English, and she proved them wrong. She graduated from college, she became a nurse, got married, had her 2 kids in a nice home and all of that. So she was already kind of a fighter anyway. Like, I don't care what you say, I'm going to get this done, which is a good quality, and also one that made it difficult, I think, for her as well when dealing with the case of her daughter. But anyway, they kept trying to get help for what was going on. They didn't know what was going on, and finally they got connected with a doctor who was able to diagnose her pretty quickly. And it ended up being an actual kind of pain disorder. And I don't want to say it wrong, so let me look it up, because I don't want to get the letters in the wrong order. So it's complex regional pain syndrome, CRPS. Basically a malfunction of the nervous system. It may involve abnormal inflammation or nerve dysfunction. Treatment can help, but the condition cannot be cured. So the doctor that they finally got in touch with was able to diagnose that this is what she had. But the problem was that the only treatment that was known at that time, I guess, was to use ketamine. Ketamine can be used inappropriately, and it can be fatal if used incorrectly as well. And so they started treating her with small doses, and it wasn't really helping. And so the doctor recommended that she be put into a 5-day coma where they would give her a higher dosage of ketamine. Now, the only way to do this was in Monterrey, Mexico. That was the only location that had been approved, I guess, to do this type of study where a patient would be put under that way. So, of course, there were concerns from her parents, but they didn't know what else to do. The other doctors had no clue what was going on. There was no diagnosis, and they just wanted their daughter to be well. So they went to Mexico and got it done, and she did feel better. She was able to have a better range of motion and all of that. But then eventually came back, and they had a hurricane one night, and that same night she started having extreme stomach pain again, and it was just back in full force. So they took her, the dad, the mom I think was working or on her way home, something like that. So the dad called the mom and told her that she was in pain again, and that he didn't really have a choice but to take her to the ER because she was in so much pain. And then it just became a horrible story after that. It was like a horror story. And the thing about it is they basically accused the mom of having Munchausen's by proxy syndrome, you know, where basically it's like medical abuse where a parent will induce issues onto their children. But that wasn't the case, and it just spiraled out of control. They took medical custody of her for like 3 months, and the parents were not allowed contact. The dad was allowed some contact, and finally the mom was able to talk to her on the phone. But the dad and the brother were only able to see her. The mom was not. And the visits were very short. There was a lot of rules about what they could talk about, what they could not talk about. But the nurses and the doctors, they basically were saying that the daughter was lying and making it up to appease her mother, because her mother was basically enforcing this onto her child. And it just, the way that it ended is what was the most heartbreaking. Like, I made it through probably the hour and a half of the documentary without crying. I was disturbed. It made me mad and angry, but they got to this one point where they were interviewing the daughter, and she just was yelling at the camera and crying. She was so overwhelmed and mad and frustrated. And then I just tears. And then probably 2 other parts of it where I just, yeah. So definitely have to watch it, because parents, man, have to be careful. And then they showed clips of so many other families who have dealt with their children having these symptoms of something going on, and they go to the doctors for help, and the doctor's saying that the only thing that they see is that this could be child abuse. And I'm like, it's so crazy, because in other ways, it's almost like sometimes people try to report abuse and they don't look into it, and then the child ends up being removed from this world because no one looked into it, and then the abuse was just too much to where it took the child out of here. And you have those cases, but then you have these cases where the parents are just trying to figure out what's going on with their child, and they're being accused of abuse. So it's almost like extremes on both sides, where you don't take it seriously and the child really gets hurt, and then the cases where you don't believe parents who are actually trying to do the right thing. And it's like horrible that there's a system that functions this way. But I just hope they get justice. They have some other things to look at and all of that. I just hope that they get justice. But I definitely recommend, it's called Take Care of Maya. It's a documentary on Netflix. Check it out and let me know what you think. Again, shout out to Official Jamia and Miss Louisiana Housewife, because they both mentioned it in their channels, and that is what made me watch it today. Because I don't watch a lot of shows, and it's not that I don't have an interest in them. I just have moments where I want to watch TV, and then other times where I could go without really watching TV. So there's a lot of shows that I'm behind on and that I haven't even watched or seen and things like that. But I do like documentaries and learning about things that are going on. But this one is disturbing. Yeah, so check it out. Let me know what you think. Comment down below if you have watched it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you'll know when I post. Until next time, bye.